just finishing Sunday breakfast, and I just thought I'd go through my week because I watched a couple of, or from editing, I've seen a few of my vlogs. I noticed I haven't done that for a while, so I thought I'd run through this week. And this is a slightly unusual week because it's half term, so not been working this week. Although, except for Friday, it almost feels not like work, but I've been busy, or if not busier than when I'm at work. So this is how I do my weeks now. I have this weekly planner here that I use, and I sort of fill in everything as it comes. So if something gets booked in in October, so maybe like for this, which I didn't end up going to, TED Talks, I would have booked that in months ago when I first heard about TED Talks. So let's run through. So I just got Monday here. What do I do? So Yachi's had a day off. So that was it. There we go. That was the crucial point. Start my book, start my young adult book, which I have done, and I got into the habit of getting up and sort of created a time to do that. I got into the habit of doing that over the last month, 2 months, with no pressure of actually writing anything. And now I'm sort of, what I've got in my head is every other day to get up and write for an hour every other day, or work, not necessarily write, work on it for an hour, and then get on with my day. So I don't think about what I'm going to do, I just get up, do it, that's it, done. Right, so, and then what do I have here? So yeah, then later on Monday afternoon, I had Steve and mindfulness, so went to Pavilions mindfulness session for an hour and a bit, and then walked back here and had a jam here with Steve on guitar and stuff, and just played some original tunes, and just sort of got a vibe going to see if we could do stuff together, and it feels like we can, so that's good. So that was Monday. We're now on Sunday morning, and I've got another meeting going to play with him again for a couple of hours in a bit, which is good. So that was that, and then what else have I got written down? Town. I met Yachi in town at 4 p.m. So she'd gone into town shopping, and met her after the practice with Steve, and we just went in town, coffee, stuff like that, and then just watched the film in the evening. Tuesday, what did I actually do out of all this? So I've got this ticked, so Mike can send some tunes, which I'd done, so I recorded and sent some of the stuff we were jamming on Monday, just some backing tracks, so Steve could play along with it. And then what else have I got here? Just other little things I work on, so just simple things like post a letter to mum and dad, or a package, and play bills, go through a research application I've got going on that is in the back of my head at the minute. Dyson test, that was one thing I'd done, because walking back from Pavilions to here with Steve on Monday, we found that, you do it, Brian, just put outside somebody's house, like please take me, works. So it was a nice Dyson Hoover, a little bit shabby around the edges, but so we pulled it back, dragged it all the way through Brighton. In fact, I felt like being in that film Once, pulling a Hoover through the streets, with his guitar on his back and me pushing my bike. It was quite a nice feeling. And so anyway, tested that on Tuesday, and it seems to work alright, except the sucky parts might need a little bit of looking at. But anyway, and then what did I say? Just go for a ride on my bike, which I've probably done. A few emails to do, and then in the evening, new note as usual. So then on to Wednesday. What have I got here? Yep, so print tickets. I had Dear C, so that's my Dear Curiosity letter, which I like to do well before Wednesday. I usually do that on Sundays, actually, or start trying to do it on Sundays. But recently, I must admit, it's usually Monday evening is actually when I get to properly finish writing it and recording it, and then ready for upload on Wednesdays. But this week, because I had time to do it, I didn't do it until Wednesday. So that was that. some new albums I wanted to research, possibly buy, do some tutorials to do with a program I'm using to write this novel, this young adult novel. Again, continue this application I've got going on. And then in the evening, that day I had, Wednesday evenings is always creative writing at Cascade Cafe, so I went to that. Thursday, what have we got sort of written down here for Thursday? So we've got Cascade Photo. That was right, because I've heard there's a photography group starting up at Cascade, and it's just, I heard through the grapevine from Wednesday's writing group that they just need, it's got loads of enthusiasm from what I can tell, just lacking somebody with a bit of photography knowledge and background and technical ability, and with my past I've got that, so I emailed them first thing that day, and just said, you know, I can do it basically if they want me to. I nearly sort of said straight away when I heard out about it, but I wanted to sit down, think, and look at my schedule. As you can see, you know, I do know what's, that's sort of next week. That's next week. You know, I do have a rough idea of what's coming up, so I know if I can commit to something regularly. And I was deliberately keeping Monday evenings and Friday evenings free. But that is something I would love to do, and I get a lot out of it. So I put my name forward officially on sort of Thursday, sent them an email, quite a long one actually, and then went and spoke to them on Thursday as well. So that was that, and then just another emails to various people about things. You know, I just write things I want to Google or research sometimes, and then yeah, went and met a new friend from the writing group, Fiji, to go around all the photography. So I go around some of the photography shows that are on in town right now, and spent the afternoon going around like sort of pop-up galleries and official galleries looking at photography. So that was brilliant, and just massive breath of fresh air to me. That was fantastic. And if I get a chance, I might do a bit more of that this afternoon. We'll see. Oh yeah, so that was that. And then at 4 p.m. I had a meeting with Emma, who runs the what's it officially called, the book group at Pavilions, that evening. So I met up with her a bit early just to go through this research application that I'm thinking of putting forward, and just working out exactly what it is I want to put forward and how to go about it. And she's someone with a lot of knowledge in that area and knows how to put applications together for sure. So I had a really good in-depth chat with her for about an hour and a half, and put a lot of my ideas across, and definitely got something that we can get on with here. It's just a question of sort of getting the finer points down and actually putting some time aside to do it properly. So that's good. And then yeah, like I say, in the evening, 5:30 to 7, I always have book group at Pavilions, and that was one of the first nights I actually took some writing that I'd done as a result of the week before, because quite often we'll read a number of different bits of text and based around one sort of topic, and then we'll do a little writing or idea generation sort of phase right at the end, and sometimes we get to read them out. But anyway, last week I had left with loads of ideas really, so I thought, well, if I get a chance, I'll flush those ideas out a bit, and I did, and I just wrote a little short story as a result of just brainstorming the idea of cheese. And the story has nothing to do with cheese. What I'd done is I put cheese in the middle of the brainstorm, and then just went out, you know, in all the different directions like a spider diagram does. I mean, it started off cheese, and I remember the first thing I thought of was Wallace and Gromit, and then it all expands and shoots off to different areas. And I just put that up this morning on my WordPress page. So, you know, if I write anything that I think's interesting, or something that I think has something, or can at least remind me of something to maybe revisit in writing in the future, I'll put it on my WordPress page, whatever, I don't know, you can't really say. It's not really a blog, is it? It's just like a posting page, isn't it, WordPress? Thursday, yeah. Friday, I've got written down here, TEDx Brighton, which I didn't go to. I was waiting to be paid because the tickets were a lot of money. I thought they were 40 quid. I mean, it is an all-day thing, and it was brilliant last year, but incredibly short of money right now, so I had to wait till I got paid, and I didn't get paid, well, I don't really get paid decently until today or tomorrow, Tuesday even, so I don't really have any money. So anyway, it wasn't that payday, it's not this coming payday I'm waiting for, it was the last payday, and it just wasn't going to cut it anyway, so I couldn't afford that. So I thought I was just going to turn up and see if somebody turned up with a spare ticket going that they wanted to give away, or I've even got written down here, but what I've got as my instructions for the day is TEDx Brighton, 8:30 to 5:30, bum a ticket, busk, write a jingle. So I was thinking, just go down there, see what you could do, maybe take your guitar, maybe write a jingle about wanting to go and not being able to, and playing that outside. That didn't happen. Friday, after this week, I just needed to chill out and relax, and that's what I've done. I stayed inside most of the day, most of the morning anyway, and just relaxed, really. I got out my Mac and I set up some mics. You can sort of see the remnants of it over here. I've got like this mic set up here to record the acoustic guitar, and I've got like all this cable up here that comes down to here for this condenser mic, just so I can record some decent acoustic guitar. And although I've got this road right outside, if you shut this door, it's not, you don't really hear it actually, to be honest, because it's sort of double glazed, you know, sort of old style fashion. Except, and there are a lot of this happens a lot, except when ambulances and police cars go past, but you can't control that. So I ended up doing that really, and reading a lot on Friday, and then went into town and just had a coffee somewhere in town, and a bit of casual, just sort of wandering about, just relaxing, ready for that's good, that happens to be there, ready for going to Glyndebourne and watching Don Giovanni Behind the Curtain with New Note on Friday, and met at the station at 5, and then the train to Lewes, and then the bus to Glyndebourne, and it was absolutely fantastic. I went there having just watched a little YouTube video on it about Don Giovanni Behind the Curtain, and I don't know anything about opera, I don't know anything about Don Giovanni, I don't know anything about Glyndebourne, so it was totally, you know, an unknown to me. And it was just, I said to somebody when I was there, I said, it really reminded me of like being at Wimbledon. That's what it reminded me of before we went in the concert. It had that atmosphere, that vibe, and yeah, it was just brilliant. So that the whole idea of Behind the Curtain is they don't do the opera all, you know, from start to finish. They do little parts and then explain it, and then, you know, translate it. So it's all in Italian, the opera, but it's got translations at the top of the stage, and talk to the actors, talk to the conductors, you know, makes it very, very human. And I mean, one of the my two sort of highlights from it off the top of my head would be one scene being translated from the Italian to Cockney English, and then being reperformed in Cockney English, and the other was when they chatted to some of the singers, and particularly particularly one singer who just said, you know, he changed careers 3 times and before he got into opera, and it just really made me feel, God, you know, because I'd always thought that people in opera had just sort of been born to do that, and like, you know, pressured from their parents from a young age, and it was really nice to hear a different take on that. And the conductor just saying about, you know, how he doesn't only have to be in control of the the orchestra down in the pit, the way he's, you know, also you know, talking, having a dialogue. You know, he's like a middleman between the orchestra and the people on stage, and how, you know, to get that timing, that balance, and the dynamic right was it was fascinating to see, and yeah, brilliant to go and see. It was quite sort of, I was incredibly interested to go, but a little bit worried that I wasn't going to like it, but that wasn't the case at all. And then yeah, yesterday, Saturday, I usually go to choir, but didn't yesterday because my old friend Ol down from London, so went over to the hotel and caught up with him, had a nice cup of tea in the Grand, and then just chilled out. And unfortunately, his wife wasn't feeling great, a bit of food poisoning, I think, so we didn't really do. We were planning on going for a meal and stuff, which we couldn't do with them, but I had managed to have a quick catch up with them before they went back early, and then we went into town and just killed a day in town really nicely together, me and Yachi. And then at 5 p.m. I've got that here, this is from last night. 5 p.m. went to this at St. Nicholas's Church. Some really good contemporary classical music by New Music Brighton, and where was the list of musicians? I saw that one, there you go. Anyway, yeah, list of all these new musicians and stuff, and it was just totally random and nice change to listen to some very freshly composed pieces of music. A couple of highlights from that would be a guy playing an oven tray, like the gridded oven tray with a wooden spoon. I like that. I think I'm going to keep my eye out on the street for one of those and take that to New Note. And then one really good piece that I just enjoyed the take on it was In My Room by Yukiko Watanabe, and she'd just had a kid, I think, from the way the guy, yeah, she just had a kid, and before she wrote this piece, and she sort of, In My Room was literally about in her room, wherever she was living, and it had things like wind up trains running across the floor, and balloons. It used balloons in the piece, so somebody blowing up the balloons and then just letting them out as part of the piece. It was really interesting, really interesting, and yet sort of given the sort of the backbone of having a harp, a piano, and a violin and things playing as well. But really brilliant night. But I did really notice I was exhausted last night. So came back, and just got discounted. Came back here. By the time we got back here, it was like half eight. So went to the supermarket, got discounted something, chicken for £1, put it in the microwave, ate, and I was then tried to watch the BFG, but I kind of knew the film wasn't going to be a touch on the book, and saw a little bit of it, and the tiredness came over me, and I've just had a nice big 10-hour sleep, and just had my breakfast, and about to go over, have another cup of coffee, get dressed, pack my guitar. No, I don't need to pack my guitar up, and then go over to Steve's for about a 2-3 hour jam, maybe flush some songs out for an open mic night. And then this afternoon I'm going to this is what I'm going to. I need to remember to pack this. So this is a book signing, I think. Anyway, a vlogger I've followed for a long time, a very long time, since he was a teenager, called Charlie McDonald. His YouTube channel, Charlie is so cool, like. And I just came across, or via his YouTube channel, I came across that he's got a book out, and 2, he's coming to Brighton to sign it. So I followed the link, and without thinking about it, just made sure I booked myself a ticket. So that's what I'm doing at 2. So looking forward to that, and then nice quiet evening, winding down, do some reading, relaxing, and ready for work next week. Let's get that coffee. Yeah, before I go and get that coffee and sign off, I should just like sort of say that without, it's not written down here because it's just part of my part of me really, part of my routine is getting up every morning. It seems to be, I'm not setting an alarm, it seems to be 5:30, 6 at the minute is the way it's working, which is just bizarre and slightly shocking to me, but that seems to be the pattern I've got into over the last two months or so. And I'm either getting up and using that time to write, well, literally going like this. So this week it was write, run, write, write, run, run, day off. That's the way it went. So in my head, write, run in the morning. Not necessarily run, do my circuit, you know, it's not just running. But yeah, I mean, that's not written on here because it's just, I don't have to think about it. That's what I do. I get up, bam, I do one of those things. No thinking, just do it. Because particularly with, not so much with writing in a minute because I'm enthusiastic to do it, but particularly with running and getting my circuit done, it can be all too easy to talk myself out of it once you let the head even think about it. So I don't. You just get up, shoes on, bit of water down the mouth and go. That's it. So yeah, anyway, let's get this coffee.